Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. For your comment, your like, and for subscribing to this YouTube channel. May God continue to bless you all in Jesus' name. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to inform us the factors that causes depression among people today. If you think that I am making it up, watch video.
The agency has been alerted on the increased displacement of communities and farmlands along the bank of River Niger in Adamawa, Taraba, and Benue states. The agency says affected areas must be on guard to avoid displacement of communities and crops.
The update from NEMA is that the agency has been alerted on the sudden increased inundation of riparian communities and farmlands along the banks of River Niger in Adamawa, Taraba, and Benue states in the past 48 hours. The sudden situation is attributed to the rapid release of waters from Lagdo Dam in the Republic of Cameroon and has resulted in the displacement of several inhabitants of the affected communities. Furthermore, croplands and vulnerable infrastructure are at risk of getting washed away by floodwaters. Situation reports from Adamawa State confirms the upsurge of floodwaters along the floodplains of River Benue. The situation is expected to be replicated in downstream states of Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, and Bayelsa states as of the River Benue joins River Niger and flows to the Atlantic Ocean through the Niger Delta.
All right, Steve.
All right.
I mean, I think this is such an important call. If you recall, we always talk about preparation before the flooding. It's important that NEMA is calling, for these states to prepare because of the opening of the Cameroon Lagdo Dam, which has been quite controversial, hasn't it, Steve?
It has been.
Yes.
I mean, for a while now, anytime that the dam, is open, we know that the consequences that we will suffer, especially for the three states that NEMA mentioned, Adamawa, Taraba, and up to Benue, I believe. So what they have done is quite in order. Is the proper thing to do, as you will find in any serious country when there are things that you may not have total control over, especially when it is nature. So NEMA is one, and they are taking it beyond those three states to say that yes, the Lagdo Dam might be an issue, but generally too, in terms of flooding, given the season that we are in, there are many states, up to 16 states in the Federation, that will need to be careful. So I hope that each state will have their own sort of rescue teams, ready teams, that, if evacuation will be necessary, for example. I like the fact that Lagos State has been, making that call lately, and we see what the gentleman in the Environment Ministry, Tokumo Wahab, for example, is doing, going from point A to B, covering all areas just to ensure that man-made errors do not add to the things that you encounter when nature decides to kind of go haywire. So this is the season. We have been warned, and people too will have to conform and ensure that their environment, is in order.
Absolutely. Well said, Steve. Well, mental health experts have called for the decriminalization of suicide as an offense in Nigeria. This was at the Mental Health Symposium organized in Abuja. Arise correspondent Mary Chinda reports.
A graphic case of attempt last week in Lagos, Nigeria. The newspaper headlines have been replete with successful cases. And just when you think you have seen it all, another attempt on display this week in the nation's commercial capital, Lagos. Every 30 seconds, at least one person. Now, that is why experts here have gathered to chart a course for the inclusion of mental health in the primary health care at both local government and national levels.
We as a people, we have not normalized seeking help. It's not part of our culture. you know, and we tend to think that, okay, it's only those that are mad that have to be tied up and kept somewhere that have mental health issues. You know, we need to educate ourselves. The fact that somebody does not look like you, talk like you, have some of the resources you have, doesn't make them less of you.
The consensus here is that an attempt by a person to end is born out of deep-seated pain and frustration and should require collective social support. But Nigeria's criminal codes, section 327, still classifies it as a criminal offense punishable by a jail sentence. Lead coach of Mental Health with DT, a non-governmental organization. This lawmaker and experts insist this criminal code must be reviewed.
So in Nigeria, attempted is a crime. So if you try to kill yourself in Nigeria, you're going to be jailed for 1 year. One of the things we are driving is to decriminalize suicide in Nigeria. Anyone that tries to kill needs help. So let us give them help and not put them behind bars, because that will cause more problem for them.
We had a motion on the floor, right, which is to compel the federal government to ensure the full compliance with the provisions of the mental health law that was passed in the Buhari administration. So it shows that the House is up and alive to these issues to ensure that we make a difference in destigmatizing issues around mental health.
They say neglecting mental health awareness will be inimical to the nation.
I think this is such an important motion that has been put forward. I mean, just that statistics alone is quite alarming. Every 30 seconds, one person. To think that in Nigeria, it's a criminal offense. I mean, there are a lot of things that we have to deal with. I believe also you said in some states in the United States, it is a criminal offense, but in general,
it's been decriminalized in many parts of the world.
In many parts of the world. It should be decriminalized because depression is such a big problem a lot of people are facing. Like we saw in that report, the woman who tried to kill herself. And I told you, we discussed that Third Mainland Bridge issue recently, and I told you that is the main place people go and jump. Like, I get those videos every day. But only recently we saw this man jumping. I think it was a Falmouth Bridge just across from us here. He wanted to jump, but he was saved. But I mean, this is what we need to do. We need to put this motion forward and speak about the issue here. It shouldn't be a criminal offense. It should be a mental situation where people can have to deal with these people that are actually facing depression. You have depression, for sure.
I mean, it's not a fresh attempt, but I like the fact that, this organization is bringing it back. It's been on for years. The need to decriminalize the act of, it's not something that you walk into, easily. And I think part of what people are struggling with is to accept that depression is real. And what goes with that is to not just to decriminalize, but also to destigmatize. It's the stigmatization, that goes with, being. As they will say here, he has coins, and things like that.
What is coins, really?
That there is a knot that is loose, and somebody said, that kind of a thing. So the sort of language that we use on or about people who are experiencing or suffering from depression or mental health issues, those are the kind of things that we need to deal with. And therefore, when you have people like that, with the struggle, the internal battle that they are having, with the fact that they are being stigmatized, that many people don't even understand what they are up against. You now say that if you attempt, it's 1 year in jail, by the Criminal Code 327 of the Criminal Code. I think that this is a good time to talk frankly with government and those in authorities about, moving in tandem with the world, and we can't just continue to deal with this situation. I like the point that you raised about flag points where we know that these things happen a lot. I'm not sure what the best answer will be or as to how to deal with it.
For the Third Mainland Bridge, they need to secure it, raise the bar a bit, have more security personnel there to, help these people, not communicate. Because, I mean, the ones I receive are the ones I get. What about others that are themselves.
Exactly.
Okay, my respected fans, haven't watched these clips. I must say a very big thank you. I have listened to the National Emergency Management Agency director critically, but I must say to you that one of the major responsibility of NEMA, the National Emergency Management Agency in Nigeria, is to manage various type of emergencies like flood, natural disasters, man-made disasters in Nigeria. But from what I have watched and listened to critically in this video, I came to realization that the National Emergency Management Agency was busy reading literature to the Nigerians. That is a total deviation. Your duty is to manage emergencies in Nigeria. Any type of emergency which you told the Nigerian people that you are capable of doing before you assume office. So telling us the name of state in Nigeria that flood will take over is not the result. All that the Nigerians and the world need as a manager is innovative solution. If the Lagdo Dam that the Cameroonians keep on opening every year is affecting your country, Nigeria, it is your responsibility as a manager, as a director, as a chairman to sit down and provide innovative solution. Okay, let me assist you. When you can use water in agriculture sector, you can build a dam to control that flood in Nigeria. And I assure you, when you put heads together and use that problem to become a solution in the country, you will see that the Cameroonian, they will stop opening that dam every year because you have a solution, because you have started using that as economic factor to raise money in the country. This is one of the factors. Okay, can you tell me that after students pass through sophomore stages in the university, they graduate, they do national service for 1 year, and they came out, no job opportunities. Some of them, they entered into different type of business, agriculture, into land agency, into different type of business, and now every year flood keep on wrecking these people. What do you expect these people's business to do? And flood keep on destroying these people's business. What do you expect the Nigerians to do? What do you expect them to do? Now you are telling the people that whosoever that take his into his hand will face jail sentence. Is that what you are telling the people? Let us critically look into the factors that causes depression among people. So when we get it right, that will help us to stop the rate of depression and the rate of people taking into their hands, not by putting law that any person that takes his into his hand will face a life imprisonment or will be sentenced to jail. That is not the solution. As a country, as a society that want to progress and meet other parts of the world, that problem that you are passing through, that flood that is disturbing Nigeria, when you put ideas together, you can progress from there and use that problem as a source of income in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. See you in our next video.